Guys, week 3, building a $500,000 duplex for free. Our foundation is done. Meeting with the builder today to go over everything. Ground and plumbing's done. Why don't y'all stay tuned? We're gonna go over the whole thing of how the build is going and how much we got left. So far, our total cost to date is $129,000. Again, the magic number is we gotta stay below $394. If we do that, we're building it for free. Check it out.
Kind of an interesting deal. But they got it all smoothed out and fanned. What's up, fellas? Is it okay? Yeah? So these are your garages that you're sitting right here, and you'll see that these are the J-bolts that sit in the concrete, and this is going to be your common wall straight down the center. So it'll go all the way down, and this will be one unit, and that will be the other unit. And then that'll be your front door, and that'll be your front door. And then, of course, your parking and everything comes out. They're going to take this tree out tomorrow. Hopefully we don't get the rain.
So that's what I was saying. So we still have to finish, obviously, the concrete.
All the driveway, we have to set the culverts. The driveway is going to come out and come in and go like this, right? So, and we'll do that afterward because you can see.
I was going to say, are we doing that
No,
afterwards,
man.
or when
they tear it all up? You want to keep your driveway nice. We've still got.
Oh, that's right. That's what you're saying. So we don't do the driveway till it's
very
done.
end. Two tons of framing, a ton of sheetrock, and it just blows out your driveway. It just makes it look like garbage.
Yeah.
So it's much easier if we do it afterwards. So they'll smooth it out, and then what's cool is when my framers get here, we'll pull these forms off so they can frame. We'll start framing on Monday.
I was gonna say the framing's next, right?
Yep. And then what they'll do is these guys right here. This is a cool thing you guys should come watch too. They'll hook up like a car jack, and they'll pull these strands, and it'll tighten them inside the concrete, and that's what holds it up.
That's the tension rods?
They're called post tension. Yep, they're called post tension cables as opposed to rebar.
The rebar.
All the big builders are doing it now. KB, David Weekley, they've gone to these post tension cables as opposed to a rebar structure.
Stronger?
No, well, it's the same, it's just cheaper.
Cheaper.
It's better technology, right? It's just better technology.
More efficient.
More efficient.
That's
and
cool.
the cables pull, and it holds the entire slab in place. And so you've got these cables. I've got a picture of it running this way and running this way like a tic-tac-toe board.
But they're just wider. You showed me, yeah.
Yep,
so.
they're just wider squares than like a 12 by 12 or an 18 by 18 rebar cage. And it's just, it floats on those cables. It's really cool. And then you've got beams underneath here in several different places, 12 to 18 inch beams underneath. Yeah. So the material's going to be delivered on Saturday, and then we'll have framing done end of the week.
Good.
Yeah. At least the first floor by Wednesday, and then we'll do probably by Friday or Saturday of this coming week we'll have at least the roof structure being started.
And we have a clean out on each side of each of the units?
So this is your sewer line, and that's where it's going to run to the sewer, but then you've got your two water lines. Those are your two water lines over there for each unit. Okay. So each unit has its own separate water.
Do we have the water meters yet?
Nope, not yet. We'll tap probably in a couple weeks. We'll tap in a couple weeks. We actually were able to use this neighbor's water yesterday.
We got water? Yeah, that's good.
They let us use their water, which was very nice. I gave them $100.
Nice.
Yeah. So I paid their water bill for a month.
I'm sure they're happy about that.
A couple months, maybe.
Yeah. So talk to me about the dirt work in the back.
Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll bring a truck in, we'll dump a bunch. So once these forms come off, I'll bring the skid steer back out, and we'll bring the grade. No, don't get old. Okay, we'll bring the grade to about right there, which is right underneath these post tension cables, and then we'll just slope it really super slow, not steep all the way back. So it'll just be like it was
gradual.
Natural flow, man. It's like an inch every 6 feet or so.
And then what is the finished product? Like, are we doing brass, sod?
Oh yeah, man.
And that sod's already in there and everything?
Yeah. Oh
it's
yeah.
All part of it?
Yeah, inside the budget.
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah, of course. Yeah, sod's already in the budget. We came in $4 grand under, a little bit less, like $3,900. But I was looking at the numbers today. I forgot my laptop. I'll send it to you in an email. I set it on the counter and then I walked out.
You walked out?
An idiot. But I think we're gonna be like 7 to 10, maybe a touch more. Maybe, I don't know.
And you think at each step we can stay on point to the point where that
I think what's gonna happen is we're gonna save about $8 grand, let's say, on the framing portion, siding, roofing, windows, exterior doors will all be in. Now we've got a shell of a house. And then on the rough side, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, I think we're gonna save another 4 to 5. So that almost brings you within a very close margin of being even to what you put in, to being able to draw out is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not even so much worried with that. I want to know, say, hey, are we going to come in below that 394? That's my ultimate goal, so that way we can pull some.
Yeah, we should.
That's
we should come in at like 380 at the high, super high.
Because obviously.
But remember on that chart too, or on that that draw schedule, 22,000 of that, or 21,000.
24 is if you're talking about the interest payments.
No, not the interest payments. 21 and 1,500 inside the budget is soft costs that I put in there. That's included in the price per square.
Yeah.
Right. So those are coming. You have available to you right now, I think, to be able to draw out like $75,000.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not even worried about that. I'm worried about, hey, let's keep this cost
I like to keep
as low as we
yeah,
can.
The way I think about it from my end, and I know you're liquid, so it's saving money on the interest charge, which helps with the partnership. What I'm thinking is, okay, if I got eaten by a wild rhinoceros that escaped from the zoo, could Gabe come in and draw out almost all of the dollars that he spent? And thus far, you're about, I think it's by head math, it's like 15 grand light of that.
And I should pick that up on every project
and
point.
You should pick up about a third of that on each
step.
Yeah, until we get to about sheetrock, and then we start to level out. At about the sheetrock stage and insulation, we start to level out, and we'll just hit evens all the way.
But at that point, I'm already.
But it doesn't matter.
I'm already recouped, so it's like 100 out, 100 back.
100 out, 100 back, and then I'll have like maybe $1,000 here, $1,000 there, and that will pay for the interest payment over the last couple. Exactly.
Okay. Perfect.
And then we'll come in under budget by about 15 grand or 20 grand. We'll be able to pull that either 20 grand back and then soak up our closing costs on the back end.
Because the closing costs are also built into that as
are.
well. And it's like, because my biggest thing is we want to make sure we have some to set aside, because we're going to have mortgage payments probably before vacancy get filled.
At least at least one probably. I don't know. I've already got renters that are looking at moving in.
Okay.
I've got the 10 unit that I showed you over there. There's a couple people that want to upgrade, and their leases end. And their leases end in June.
It's okay, I got a spot for
which
you.
Is exactly, which is about the time when they'll be looking for a 3-bedroom. So hopefully I can just migrate those people over. But I can't keep the ones that I have, like these two over here and the one down, and then the build. I've already got the 2 on Willis rented.
See?
I already have contracts, and we just started sheetrock.
Wow.
I already have renters. So this should fill quickly.
And what side are we gonna give for?
Probably 1895. And then what I do, I told you this though, we sell them the
refrigerator and all that shit.
It's nice because if we sell them the fridge at like $75 extra, and the washer dryer 75 and 75. But if you do that, you add, let's say we rented it for $1,900, but you sell them a fridge, now it's $1,975, and then you go to $2,050, and then $2,125, and if you did that twice, it's $4,250-ish. From a cap standpoint to sell, you'd get your $499. We make $100,000 if we sold it, and you'd still 8 cap it from an investing standpoint. So we want them to buy appliances from us. Right.
Well, especially on the 5+ units, because then it's like, because they're not gonna go off of a cap on this. Like an investor might look at it, but like
usually people want to get as close to the 1% rule, like the fleet-tail investors I call them. They're they're tough to beat. Yeah, they're tough to get right now on a new. I don't see any 1% rule new builds.
No.
Like you can get something kind of dilapidated.
I think the reason why they're doing well in Houston is because it just costs down their cost of living.
Correct.
Because they're trying to. I think the retail buyer, that's who you're really targeting.
That's right.
You're not targeting investors to come buy this because there's no money in it. They're going to come put.
There's no money.
They're going to put $100 grand down and they're going to make $100 a month.
That's right. Yeah.
I think these do well because like you can live in one, rent the other out. Now my mortgage is only $1,500 a month.
You know what I do on these is I'll do a wrap. So I'll take 50 grand of somebody's money who doesn't have the
credit. We talked about
credit and wrap the loan, and I'll take their 50 and we'll owner-fi it for them if they need to. Their margins are lower, but we get the cash up front. So we'll do that type of structure. But you're right. Somebody like you is not looking for this duplex as just a general investor. and laundry. And then your big pipes are your toilets. Now remember, we have one toilet downstairs and all the rest of the bedrooms upstairs. So like,
how is the upstairs plumbing gonna go with? Are they all gonna go to the same sewer line eventually?
yes, it all goes right here. So they'll run all their drain lines right here, and it goes all the way out to the sewer from right there. And over here is the same way. So it all ties in to one sewer line that goes right to the sewer. So you can always tell, like, these are your vent stacks. So they always have vents, and then all of the smaller pipes like these is all your drains for like your sinks and your washing machines and things like that. So you've got 2 toilets downstairs, and then upstairs you've got all the rest. And they'll have what's called...
Are these vents for the upstairs bathroom?
Yes. Okay. Yep. They're bigger vents for the upstairs bathrooms. Yep. That's exactly what they are. So they'll vent stack it, and then they'll have these webbed trusses. So it's like basically 2 2x4s that sit, and then it has 2x4s that go like this, make V's and W's. And all the plumbing and the HVAC runs through those, so you don't have to do what's called a fur down. You don't have to build those big blocks and run the ducting through like in an industrial space. Yep. You'll just run it through those web trusses. Okay. So this Monday we'll start framing and we'll do what's called our bottom plates. It's really cool, man. So I'm glad you guys are here because this time next week, the wall, it's amazing. I love framing. It's so fast.
It actually looks like something.
It's so fast. The framing's my favorite part because it goes so fast, and then it slows way down. Yeah, it slows when you're like, oh my god.
Electrical plumbing. It's like
electrical plumbing, HVAC, sheetrock. It just
that because the city has to come inspect everything.
It powers down everything. But the framing is so exciting because we'll start with the bottom plates. So they'll take a 2x4 and they'll put it right here. And they'll drill holes, and then these J-bolts, they'll put a washer on top and a nut, and that holds the entire wall down. You can see all the way along the perimeter. That's what holds the exterior walls down to the foundation.
And that's both stories, you think, by next time this week?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, you'll be able to go up the stairs and walk up here. Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. It's exciting. I like the framing part. My framers are really good dudes.
Framing, then we go roof and siding?
Yeah, so we'll do
roof, siding, windows?
Yep, we'll do all the walls on the bottom, and then we'll frame in all the interior walls, and then we'll do the joists, right, the web joists, and then they'll put the subfloor on the top, which is basically your floor, and then they'll build their stairs, and then they'll start putting the rafters on after that.
Will we have an attic on both?
Yeah, we'll have an attic because that's where our air handler for the HVAC will go. Inside air handler. And then when they get the rafters done, they'll put the decking on, all the plywood on top of the roof, and then my roofing crew will come in and roof it all. So it'll be basically a skeleton on the walls, and it'll have a roof on it. And then my guys come down and they start putting sheathing. It's called sheathing. It's the same type of plywood on the outside, and then we'll start putting the siding on. All our siding. We'll go with vertical, board and batten, you know, the 1x2s on the fronts, and then we'll do some lap siding on the sides because you don't really see it, and then on the back it'll probably be lap siding. We can do, and I'd love your input, we can start doing a little bit of design too. I
think it would set it apart.
It does.
Especially if it's not going to cost us anymore.
If you play with different horizontal and verticals and then play with your colors a little bit, it pops.
There's no cost to that.
Agreed. So and then maybe throw up, what we've been doing is throwing up wood siding and then staining
raw
it.
Wood,
the raw wood look.
Yeah, that's very popular.
And that gives it a little bit of a curb appeal to it. We're going to have plenty of curb appeal. I mean, it's going to be a great looking building. And I'm actually really excited about the backyards. The size of the backyard. I was worried, man. I was so worried about the size of the backyard. When I walked it and I measured it, in my brain I'm thinking, man, it's going to be really small. But it's not. It's
a big backyard.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a really nice size for somebody to come back here. I mean, you got to figure this is about the halfway point. Yeah, the fence right in the center. So that's all going to be green space out here. And that's going to be really nice for the tenants. I was a little worried because people in Alvin in these rural type zones,
because you want to be on space
in the country. I need a little bit of green space. Everybody's got some pets. You know, everybody's got a dog or two.
That's cool.
And then you guys have got to come back for this.
Yeah,
these are cool, man. They tighten them and they go, and you can hear it, and it's a really cool process.
How long has this been out for? Have they seen progress over like shifting
20
foundations?
Years they started using post-tension cables.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like I walk some homes and they're on a slab and like you're already seeing like shifting and they're having to freaking put pilings under them
You'll know
already.
that it's a tried and true technique when the big boys do it. David Weekley, KB, all those guys, although they are being sued, but for other reasons, not for their slabs. But this and these post-tension cables are often what they use in commercial structures as well. So they'll do it in commercial.
That's a good.
It's really
that's
cool,
a telltale to me because
Yeah.
they do it because commercial they're worried about getting sued if like a building collapses or something like that. That's a big lawsuit. So if they're doing it in a commercial,
They are.
That's where
Your
when
big
I feel
industrial buildings, they'll still use big cages
Yeah.
with rebar, but a lot of them will use the post-tension cables. Yeah, it's a cool process, guys. And then once it dries out a little bit next week, we'll get the forms off. They'll post-tension these cables, and then they'll cut them. And then we'll bring a skid steer in here and a bunch of dirt, and we'll start to level this out so that we can.
It's leveled obviously in the sides too, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it will. So what it'll do is it'll have a swell, Gabe. So it'll go, we'll pull the forms, and it'll start about right here, and it'll slope, and then it'll come up slightly and then it'll be swelled this way. So your water will go, boom.
If you're walking on it, would you notice
No,
that? You probably
it's
wouldn't
slight.
notice it,
It's like a 2% grade. Enough for water, not enough to even. You may feel it a little, but only because you're gonna know it's there,
Okay.
right?
But like
And-
the naked eye, someone walking.
Yeah,
they're not
and
gonna
that's
know.
on your plan set. So if you look at your plan set, it'll say a 2% or a 6% swell, and the city maintains that because they want the water going where it needs to go. They don't want it dumping on other people's properties.
Yeah, that makes
Because you see, we're so high. We're 24 inches off of grade. So
I
this is
honestly did
great.
not expect that.
Yeah.
I didn't expect
It's
to
high,
be
isn't it?
that because like I thought with like a flood zone it'd be high or whatever, but like we're almost at the halfway up their
I
fence.
know, and the reason, here's a tip. The reason we do that is if you get it up higher like this, we'll actually see lower insurance premiums. We don't have to have flood insurance, but our homeowners insurance, we'll see
A raised grade?
Yeah, we'll see lower premiums, and it doesn't cost that much to bring it up. It costs about $800 in dirt. So over the course of 5 years, we'll make that back in spades.
Yeah.
We'll make it back.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. So the higher you can bring and you can't make it up here, but
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everything within reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're finishing up, and then they're just doing a little bit of finish. I wanted it to be really smooth. I like it when it's really, really nice and smooth.
Well, I think it's good for the flooring too.
I was
Because
gonna say,
My flooring.
I've walked some canoe construction homes, and I'm like,
my God.
we're going through the Himalayas, dude.
Some
like,
of my single family to duplex conversions are like that.
because it's different level.
Yeah,
foundations.
different levels, and we try to make it as smooth as possible, but we can't really get
But
the
you got
fan on
concrete
old
that's 80
concrete.
years old,
Agreed.
yeah.
So we just have to make do, and we do the best we can. We'll do floor leveler, but when you start new like this, there's no reason to make it really nice.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a really nice place, man.
All right, man. Same time next week. Let's see some frame.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.